Roberts, Ansu Salif on the TBS this morning. Yes, good morning, Ansu. Good morning. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good O'Neill and yeah.
I'm running so fast this morning.
Yeah, I can see the zeal,
Mm-hmm.
and good to be back again this morning, especially on a very wet Tuesday morning.
Mm-hmm.
I know what exactly happening around some of our communities. Maybe those swamp areas, especially those that build on on the drainage,
Mm-hmm.
maybe the
Mm-hmm.
river side. So there are so many things happening this morning. Good to have me on. Yeah, it is another day,
Yeah.
another Tuesday, and
Mm-hmm.
good to be back on the breakfast show.
Yes, great. For good morning, His Excellency. When you wake up in the morning,
Hmm.
let's wish our leader well this morning. Avoid of politics. When you wake up, think well for your leader. Think positive for your leader. Good morning, His Excellency. Joseph Yuma Boykar.
Mm.
Hope well in spirit, in health, in mind. Woke up this morning, saw what is happening in East Africa, in Malawi. It's a sad thing. The office of the president and cabinet wishes to inform the public that the Malawi Defense Force aircraft, hmm, the Malawi Defense Force aircraft that left Liwongwe on Monday
Mm.
at 9:17 in the morning, carrying the vice president of Malawi, the Right Honorable Dr. Sulos Karas Chiman, and 9 others failed to make its schedule, landing at Mazuzu International Airport at 10:02. All efforts by the aviation,
Mhm.
it's a sad thing. All effort by the aviation to make contact with the aircraft sent is when off the radar have failed thus far. Hmm. As such, the commander of the Malawi Defense Force, General Valentino Fury, has since informed his president cancel his scheduled departure for the Bahamas and order all regional and national agencies to conduct an immediate search and rescue operation to locate the aircraft, meaning the aircraft got it missing.
Mm.
Yes. The public will be updated for any development on the situation as facts are established. Secretary of the President and Cabinet. So there is this military aircraft belonging to the Malawi Defense Force that left Lilongwe on yesterday, carrying the vice president, reported missing. So it's a search now. Throughout. It's a very sad thing.
Yeah, sad time for the people of Malawi, as you said, for nine and all of us on board with the vice president. Indeed, so it's a sad time for the people of Malawi. So we keep our fingers crossed for them. We hope that as the rescue and the search team
Mm-hmm.
goes out there, we hope they can come back with successful news.
Mm-hmm.
But I said again, it's not a good news,
Mm-hmm.
for the people of Malawi, especially that with the vice president and some the cabinet members on board on that aircraft.
Yes, let's wish them well. Let's wish them well. Let's hope the search team will have to locate it. It's an alert now all in the
Yeah.
aviation space for that. Yes, good morning, folks. It's the Breakfast Show. Again, we'll say good morning to His Excellency the President. Good morning to the Vice President, the Speaker, the Nima County lawmaker. People already texting me. Please greet Honorable Musa Hassan Belete. I got to stop for President first. Yes, they will love that lawmaker so much. Good morning, Representative Hassan Belete. And all lawmakers, those of you who think positive for your district,
Mhm.
your county, and your country. Some of you, it's a sad thing, you're a lawmaker. Sorry, we start up like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, before bringing the line up. No impact in your district. This morning when you woke up, look at Liberia. And I said to someone, I said, look, this country, God love this country so much.
Mhm.
When the rain falls, answer the water will take over everywhere. Unless the rain just cease, guess what? You won't see the water. Where advantages is go elsewhere. In other countries, it will cause major problems. But good morning to all of you listening out to the show this morning. We've been seeing a lot of terrible videos from last night.
Mm-hmm.
We hope to display some of them on the social media. You know what have going to people's homes.
Yeah.
I saw some areas in the community, in the Dole community, so Old Spot area on the Bushra Island, and I mean there are several others. I will receive good morning, Excellency President Boyka. I received lots of text messages for this one simple bridge. Simple bridge now is going to a red flag because of Western Cluster. Anyway, it's part of our talking point. Yes. Yes, good morning. Thanks so much for following up the breakfast show. We've got all things are possible, and let's have a great show this one. Let's see what we have for the lineup coming up on this edition of the Breakfast Show 96.1. The heart and soul of Liberia Gondre. You what is coming up on this Tuesday is wet. It's wet if you're driving. Please drive with care. The roads are all wet. Yes, as you make your way to work this morning. So shortly on the True Breakfast Show on the Tuesday morning, and so let's see what we have this one lineup. Yes.
Okay, so Tuesday, June 11, 2024, we'll bring you have tips with David Cody Sunday. Then followed by review of the paybacks. This show is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited. Why it's not an easy thing for the heavy pool of rain affects several
Mhm.
across the country. We'll definitely talk about it. And then that Western Cluster Liberia operation overseas. The amount of load carry on a daily basis. So that we're going to throw light on it for you this morning at 8:20 to 8:30 a.m. We speak to speak to the president Boycott on the Western Cluster. This news of road which support bridge at risk this morning at 8:30 to 9:15 a.m. this morning on the first segment of the TBX. We will talk to we talk about health matters.
Mhm.
Mrs. Helen Reed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
She is the administrator for the New Hope. So she will be this morning to talk about health matters on now the TBS. 9:10, that is 9:10 this morning. Spokes Entertainment commercial brought to you by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited. At 9:15 to 10 o'clock a.m. The team from the LRA will be our guest talking about on stating tax returns and tax reform. Our ICB Stevens, Assistant Commissioner Taxpayer Service Division, will be our guest on the last segment of the TBX. So you run for 9 straight up to 10 o'clock on here.
Yes. First, beautiful lineup in the midst of all.
The country first. Country first.
Yes, in the midst of all country friends. Thank you for a beautiful lineup. This is the Breakfast Show 96.1, the heart and soul of Liberia. My name is Oni Roberts, and of course, I'm Ansu Salif. Together, let's have a great time, man. Let's have a wonderful edition of the Truth Breakfast Show. So, just before we bring on, yes, David Ernest Cote, let's see if we can bring on David Cote with our tip. And good morning to the chairman of the Southern Listener Association, Professor Richmond Anderson. Yes, Prof. Good morning. Yes, and before David Cote,
Yeah, follow.
brother Prostro.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prostro. And that's yeah. So I want to say good morning to Emma Glasgow, Emma Meteor Glasgow, NAFA. I saw the energy yesterday in Grand Bassa County.
Mhm.
Yes, we hope to put it in within the show this morning.
Yeah.
Emma Glasgow, thanks for keeping the dreams alive. You know, since you took over the future race, that era was dead. Hmm?
The reform
Yes.
transformation taking place.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything, I mean, shall put into place. And the people of Grand Bassa felt her presence on yesterday. Good morning to you, Emma Glasgow, and your team. Thanks so much for reaching to the people of Grand Bassa on yesterday.
Mhm.
Yes, let's bring you have table David Ernest Cote. David, he loved this job. And he have this job for the next 6 years. Yeah, tenure position. David Abbas Cote, Amanda,
Puerto
Abbas, Mara and Clara.
Abba. I'm
You using a new phone.
not airport.
Okay, you're using an earpiece, not an earpiece.
Please, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, during your time, I ain't how anything there. I know. Yeah. All the Amanda way to you are saying, when you begin lawmaker, people are not content campaigning for you. Never even campaign. You just become a lawmaker.
If I'm waiting for one more opportunity like that to run again, those days, I would have voted for anybody. It was a PR system, proportional representation.
Mm.
It happens all over the world where there is war, and after the war, you could be anywhere, guns all over, no money, no cars. So they had to do what they call PRS system, proportional representation. So you join the party wins a particular spot, you win. That's what happened in my case. I'm not like you who ran in your area and
And got 15,000 votes.
you never got that.
You want go to the NEC? You want challenge that record?
No, when I challenge you.
There, I'm displaying a photo for you here. I don't know which year is this. You look so handsome on this. Those of you watching the Facebook, this is David Cote when he was enjoying from his friend and from President Charles Taylor. You look so handsome, man.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at a photo. I'm not home today. What kind of clothes am I in?
You wearing
That should be a great coat.
yeah,
With a white.
yes, with a beautiful smile,
Yeah.
man. When Charles Taylor said, "Come and see me for the very first time," the smile is more than the Ellen Johnson smile.
Oh, is that with a dark shades on?
No.
No. I just see too many gray hair. I mean, go ahead, Abbas. Go ahead.
Thank you very much for this opportunity once again. Today we're talking about eating eggs, the importance of eating eggs regularly. If you are not used to eating eggs regularly or every day, start now. Eat 2 eggs every day, especially for breakfast, because eggs provide all of the essential nutrients your body needs, such as folate, iron, potassium, vitamin E, vitamin B6, vitamin K, vitamin, let's say magnesium and calcium. Eggs are also good for pregnant women and breastfeeding women. They do a lot of good things for their babies, their unborn babies. Eggs are good for your eyesight. Eggs also promote heart health, especially those of you suffer from heart diseases. You need to eat eggs always. Eggs also help with weight management. They are good for your skin and your hair. They will make your skin look good and help your hair to grow and look good. Egg also improve brain health. It improves the immune system. You know, the immune system is the defense force in your body. So eggs can help them stronger to fight diseases in the body. Egg protects you against sarcopenia. And that simply means progressive loss of muscle strength. You know, when you're getting older, you will not be too strong as before. Your muscles will not be too strong. But when you eat eggs always, it will help to build up your strength. Egg also strengthens bones, and you need that too. And egg also fight against cancer. You know, there are 100 different types of cancer in the body, around the world. They can attack you. And so you need to eat eggs to fight against some of them. Last but not the least, eggs improve your erectile dysfunction. Erectile dysfunction simply means weak erection. That's with men now. When you eat eggs always, it will help you. But don't forget the rules. Moderation. You need to eat only 2 eggs a day, preferably in the morning. Not anytime and just how many you want to eat. No. You eat more eggs than necessary, you will get sick and you may necessarily die. So eat 2 eggs only a day, preferably in the morning. Now the color of the egg does not matter. The color comes from the breed. I hear some people misleading people talking about the brown one or is better than the white one. That's not true. All have nutritional value equally. None is better than the other. Remember this, women. In 2022, 670,000 people died from breast cancer around the world. According to the WHO, 42,250 women and 530 men will die in the United States this year from breast cancer. I repeat that. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, 42,250 women and 530 men will die in the United States alone from breast cancer this year, 2024. Just this year. You can imagine what happened to the rest of the women around the world. In 2022, In 2023, it was reported by the WHO that 1 out of 8 women will be diagnosed of breast cancer globally. Can you imagine that? 1 out of 8 women. What keeps saying women, women, women? But do you know that men can also suffer from breast cancer? Oh, yes. Men can also have breast cancer, but it is only 1% of the total breast cancer cases around the world. Only 1%. So please, if you're a woman, you're 25 years old, please look for a very good hospital today and do your breast cancer screening. Do it today. It's important. And don't just go to people who will go play with your titty and say you got breast cancer. No. There's a machine called mammogram. It is for the real testing of breast cancer. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yes, there you have a blessed day. I see at 8:30 this morning.
All right, it's this one.
Yes, thank you. Dear Ernest Kotu with our health tips, a regular feature right here on the Truth Breakfast Show. Let's bring you the review of the local that is what's making news from the print media. Yes, because of the rain, we don't have many people to fall this morning, but the few I'm going to bring them on a review. What's making news on the front page from the Independent? On the news stand for 40 Liberian dollars, the front page of the Independent. US 100 million drug tycoon penetrates the LDEA, so question mark, as claim of plot at the agency emerges. Well, what the tycoon here? I want me the tycoon also. 100 million drug tycoon penetrates the LDEA, so question mark. The claim of a plot at the agency emerges. Well, we have AB Kroban, who was suspended. Hassan Fadiga is also captured here. Meanwhile, Hassan left the country for Senegal.
Yeah.
Yes, AB is still on ground. Anyway, so investigation continues, right? Grab a copy of the Independent, read the rest of from the story this one. Let's go to the back page. What the back page have? The back page from the Independent newspaper. Former Minister McGill linked to corruption international. That's an IAA audit report shows. Who is this? Let me see if I can get this. Who is this former minister? Well, Deputy Minister of Finance has been linked to corruption. This allegedly is on the back page of the Independent. Grab a copy and read the rest of the story. Liberia Jones Egmont Group FIA boss discloses a sub-news story on the back page from the Independent. Still on the back page, White Hat Initiative launch. I'm seeing flashback photo from Rachel Scott, Charisma Perman, right? Minister Charisma, yeah, launching this initiative. Yes, ends the review from the Independent. Let's see what's on the front page of the Inquirer this morning. Do not have many papers with us. The front page of the Inquirer newspaper. Yes, what's making news on the front page? A lot. US 25 million or except corruption in the judiciary. A big one, yeah. Badger shows Buckeye. Allocate US 25 million or accept it. We're saying this corruption in judiciary by and shows President Buckeye, and I'm seeing NBA President Sylvester Renning is captured on the front page of the Inquirer. You can grab a copy and read the rest of the story this morning. Molu terms Wall's Crown's Court of Fiasco. Who is saying this? Former Auditor General John Molu said the War Crown Code is a fiasco. Well, you can grab a copy of the Inquirer, read the rest of the story. Let's go to the back page and see what the back page have. The back page of the Inquirer newspaper. Yes, the back page. The back page. What's on the back page this morning? Bomb discovers at government school in Ganta. Hey. Bomb discovered at government school in Ganta. It's on the back page. Well, Government security apparatus should take full charge now. Labor fines Chinese national with fake work permit. When I'm seeing the Minister of Labor, Cooper Kra, is captured here on the back page of from the Inquirer newspaper. Yeah, you can grab a copy and read the rest of the story. So our last stop this morning, I'm sure due to the heavy pull down of rain, we don't have many papers, but the front page Africa is our last stop this morning. The front page of the front page Africa. Flagging out Buckeyes misstep. Who is saying this? Liberia's people's party. Council, yeah, tell Okay. Like people party commends Buckeye Cone administration for progress in accountability and role rehabilitation, but excuses accuses government of wasteful spending and undermining the rule of law. After praising, they want to go and diplomato.
Yeah.
Tell us say Gongola's capture, yeah. Toba Nanti Pote. All of LPP is also captured here on the front page of the front page Africa. Grab a copy and read the rest of the story. I'm seeing a Sublee. If I can link up to the Sublee story here. Floating government regulations. Who is doing this? Floating government regulations. MTN mobile money line. Millions of dollars. Hey. Look, this other report from the GAC. I don't understand why is it the GSC have now gone back, have now released the other report on the central bank. After we raised serious publicity, GSC is releasing the other report on the CBN on Friday. 2 weeks have passed. So, okay, so see what front page have? MTN more of dollars by Liberia Central Bank for non-compliance with regulations. Is capturing as of this story. I'm sure the management of MTN should respond to this. You can grab a copy of the story this morning. Again, we want to call on the GAC. The GAC, please, we need this much talk about other report that we said that that was going to be released, right?
Yeah. Only in back to the papers. What you talking about? What you there talking about? Drugs. Is that how many million again?
100 million.
100 million drugs. Yeah, and I don't know. With this issue of the LDEA bosses still on suspension, and I'll get very close information that the president will going to definitely reinstate them. And as I think this Fadiga apologize.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fadiga apologize to AB Kroma.
To AB Kroma.
Okay.
And
okay.
Which for me, I see it, O'Neill. It's necessary, but professionally, when you occupy the public space where you become a public figure, I think you should know how to run your activities. You should know how to govern yourself. You understand? You put that office on a serious question, especially with the president raising a red flag on drugs indeed, and bringing that office to the public with such a very disrespect, with training videos on the social media, not just like BOA alone, but I know definitely when they cross the wall, and another thing that came to mind, you talk about the Senegal, Tribias indeed, I follow it, it's in Senegal, and I also see again, I think Fadiga need to understand when it comes to when you surfing your boss, being out and the president in the country. So I knows very well. He knows that the president will come over the weekend. He should have been here with such a week my rule, issue of you and your boss training on the social media at the end of it, your boss coming back in the country, and then you leaving. He should have been here and stay on ground, and and then your boss come and meet you, so people can go through an investigation. And not to go there in Senegal there and see photos all on the internet, having some good time with my family in Senegal. But that's it.
You mean the deputy, right?
Yeah, the deputy.
Yeah, so I made a prediction a couple of weeks ago. I mean, a couple of days ago, I said, well, Ibrahim Koba will return to the LDA. That was my fair prediction.
Yeah.
And with the investigation, want the team to fast track, let AB returns to work. I said AB was going to return to the LDA. Trust me on this one. He made a recommendation to the president
Mhm.
with Fadiga and
Yeah.
Bou, the administration, where, and I said, Bou too had a serious error. You administration, do you know what it takes when you call you administrator? These are two operation men going to back the day. Look, AB Kroman name itself put fear. The day AB was announced as what? As head of the LDA.
Yes.
Yes. That name cut across the country. And to fight drugs is not something easy. Do you know why Donald Trump said he was going to build a wall between America and Mexico? Do you know fight to
Mhm.
break down a cartel is something easy? Look, those of you on the investigation,
Mhm.
you'll watch all of the videos and other things, but AB will return. AB definitely going to return to the LDA
Yes.
as head of that institution. Sometimes some bosses can be, reluctant to take action against their deputies and things,
Mhm.
but we blame you, AB, for not taking action against your deputy. But after this, you have learned your lesson already.
Yes.
The president is in country. This cannot be happening in less than 4 months' time. That place coming up in the news. You see all the kind of stories now running.
Mhm.
To fight drugs is not something just like you on a battlefront. It's not something easy. So now everybody operating free. AB is suspended, right? AB name, look, AB name is a brand in this country. You like it or not, keep your personal feelings. AB is just like Mary Broad name, right? Mary Broad coming, and everybody gets that
Yeah.
fear in you.
Yeah.
But Mary Broad was sitting mayor. We hear the name, even the power tech, you hear Mary Broad. It put fear. That's how AB Kroman name is like. And you can take this kind of name out of it. When someone is suspended, it doesn't mean that it's not in time indefinite. It's suspended, right? Suspension. So AB is going to return. And I'm sure if you watch all of the videos, go through the investigation, and who's in the wrong, the public should know. But AB should return. AB going off will become a serious problem to fight a real cartel in this country. Our young people spoiling every day, day by day. Parents send their kids to school. The thing are starting from the high schools. They come from the schools training the public. You send your child, you drop your child to school, you don't know what's happening. They put it in the making, in the kaya, it's going all around. But anyway, let's move on because of time. I'm going to take 1 minute on this and go to the Western cluster thing quickly.
Okay.
I saw something on Friday at the United Methodist University Church, UMC, on the 12th Street.
Mhm.
Members of the Methodist Church line up from 12th Street all the way up to 14th Street, holding a banner
Okay.
saying no to homosexualism. This is not us. And they were singing in the normally Methodist tune, man.
Mhm.
And the reason why I'm bringing this up, because they have come out to public. Alfonso Tour had a story with this. It's the bishop of the UMC, going to welcome this into the Methodist Church. Look, Ansu, I want to say it on this platform. This is not us. This is not our culture. I'm not a Methodist, boy. But if you ask me as an individual, we should say no to this. We can welcome this into our society. We already have a messed up drug system.
You wish we have waited already.
The drug system is damaged the whole country. Don't want to go into homosexualism. Is that true? And the Methodist Church should not remain tight-lipped on this, because your members have come out and said no to this. I have joined them to say no to this. This is why God described Sodom and Gomorrah, the famous Sodom and Gomorrah for. We can't do this. Man and man, woman and woman. I mean, some of you will hate us, but that's a fact we're saying. We can't do it. So the church should not remain tight-lipped on this. Let the Methodist Church tomorrow go full-time on this. Let the Methodist Church, since your members have come out, they came out, holding placards, singing all of the Methodist songs. Yeah, the hymns are so beautiful, man. Yes. The Methodist hymns are so just like the Catholic singing, man. So the bishop, to save the face of this institution, because if you remain tight-lipped, we're quick to assume, we'll say Methodist Church, the first church that welcome homosexuality in our country. Because why? Your members took up to the headquarters of your compound, and we have not heard a word from the church. Let's move on to good morning, my president, President Boykai. It's good to greet the leader with honor and respect. My president, the president for the next 6 years. All the talking we're doing, you like it or not, Boyka is president for 6 years.
6 years.
6 years running. So as a media practitioner, we are there, we are gatekeepers of the society. Mr. President, your visit to Western Cluster a month ago, you talk about Western Cluster is going to damage all of our bridges. You arrived in country yesterday, I was down on the show, right?
Yeah.
I will take 2 or 3 days on the thing and President Boyka will hear this. Western Cluster have now gotten permit to carry on operation, Mr. President. President Boyka. Let me just play your voice and just listen to what you said when you visited the bombing region. When you visited that mine.
Yes.
That mine where you said, look, Western Cluster is going to destroy us. Let me just play the president voice. At least, let's do this at least for 5 minutes. Yes, let's see this. Come on. If we can get us going up. Okay. I think it was the edited version, but I'm going to get to it. But if you listen up to the president Ansu, you talk about here is it.
This is our country. They are not the people as other people are living better. I want to thank you. And if you continue to do you drive everything in our country to your way, you don't need to be able to do something. When you people come and take the car, you are the one doing it. So why not take it and do it? And do it well.
Okay. Yes, I mean we're running out of time. We got our guests already in by 8:30. So let's take the next 2 minutes. Tomorrow we'll have a full blast on this one. Mr. President, you spoke about Western Cluster going to mess up all of our rules. The bridges. Last week, the Ministry of Public Work lifted the ban and said yes, they can make 250 trucks daily. They are there to operate from 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. And guess what, Mr. President? That 200,000 they gave was just for maintenance of the road. But what happened to the Simport Bridge? Simport Bridge stands at rakes. And I'll bring an engineer who have been placing a call to me and say, look, this was the same thing going back then when we spoke about the old bridge.
Yeah.
During the Kofi Woods, when he was Minister of Public Works, we told Ellen Johnson Sirleaf that the old bridge was going to collapse, right? And God be God, that bridge collapsed at midnight, 2 a.m. in the morning, when everybody was asleep. That's how the only bridge that connects the whole Western region, the Simport Bridge. Western Cluster makes 250 trips on a daily basis. Mr. President, I'm going to bring on an engineer on Thursday. That bridge will collapse. Yes, the Simport Bridge. The iron ores. Do you know how many? Talking about 250. You might. If I were even monitoring Western Cluster, who's monitoring the load? How many loads? Brother Gideon said they should carry 250, and now it's almost 300. Who monitoring that? Nobody monitoring that. Anyway, yeah. So we'll bring them on Thursday. Yeah. So because of time and so I think we got to link out to our guests.
We'll try to get an engineer.
Yeah.
The engineer will be on.
So we have 1 minute. Exactly, it will be 8:30 shortly. Let's see if we can link up our guests this morning right here on the TBS again. This message should go down, reach out to the president, let you hear this message. Well, that Simport Bridge stands at rakes with the heavy duty of trucks that Western Cluster carried every day. Anyway, yes, let's link up with our guest, Mrs. Helen. She's from New Hope. I've been seeing the old man for a while now. It's great to see her back this morning. It's all about health matters. And this morning we'll be talking about real health matter. And this one is erectile dysfunction. Wow. Yes, let's link up with our good morning to you, Mrs. Reed. Good morning, David Coty. He's the public communications of the New Hope Clinic. Good morning to both of you in there.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. Great seeing you. So, yeah, let's do our introduction. Just introduce yourself for us publicly.
Okay. By way of introduction, I'm not strange. I'm Mrs. Helen Reed from the New Hope Clinic, the administrator and the clinician of the clinic. I sit in the office daily to see the patients along with the others that are there. And
Okay.
I'm also a Reverend. I should
Okay.
not leave that home.
Okay. That's a good one.
Mhm.
How's the clinic? How's the New Hope?
The clinic is good. We bless God. The clinic is good. It's operating strongly.
All right. Yes. Come on in, sir. Please
Yeah,
introduce yourself.
thank you,
I
thank you.
don't know you.
Oh, I'm Koti, David Koti,
Okay.
the expected Minister of Health. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Uh, okay.
Mhm.
Um, Let me just take you quickly for this bridge issue. I don't want to take time off our time because we're already late,
Mhm.
but thank you for that bridge issue. It's a serious problem. If anything happens to that bridge, my friend, we are finished.
Hmm.
There's no other road to come from Broadville, Virginia, Cape Mount, Bombing to come this way. So I hope the minister is listening to this one. But let's leave that. It'll be another
Yeah.
topic.
On the flip side.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Great. When someone talk about New Hope Clinic, what is it? You cannot talk about it. Someone who's just bumping into the station for the first time, listening up, hearing Mrs. Reed, David Coty, New Hope Clinic. What do you do there?
Okay, New Hope Clinic, New Hope Rehabilitations, Fitness and Health Clinic is a medical acupuncture clinic. And New Hope Clinic was established in 1998 by the late Dr. John K. Reed, who was the first Liberian acupuncturist. And since then, he has been operating. We treat patients there, like we said, medical acupuncture clinic. We treat patients there
Mhm.
with several medical conditions, and we treat them with acupuncture, some Western medicine, and some Chinese medicine.
Okay. Great. Yeah. So let's place our attention squarely on erectile dysfunction. You cannot talk about it. What is it? Yeah, I understand it's a major cause for most men now in our country.
Erectile dysfunction. Erectile dysfunction is the inability for the penis to keep erection and perform sexual intercourse properly. And erectile dysfunction can be a sign of physical or psychological condition. It can cause stress. It can cause strain in relationship. And it can also cause low self-confidence, low self-esteem. And erectile dysfunction is a very common condition, common all over the world. Yeah. And
Okay.
in US alone, they say they have about 3 million cases per year.
Mm.
Yeah. But erectile dysfunction, the good news is that it is treatable by medical professionals.
Okay.
Okay.
And it also does not need well, some laboratory tests or some imaging, like they'll do CT scan or they'll do MRI to know whether the patient has erectile dysfunction. Like I was listening to the radio,
Mm-hmm.
no, you were talking about people, women should go to do breast cancer testing, that you should do the mammogram. You do not need to do mammogram or CT scan or MRI to diagnose erectile dysfunction. Erectile dysfunction is self-diagnosable. When the penis is not erecting, the man will know it. And when he knows it, he go to the hospital, he will tell the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's look at the age. What age group does it affect?
It affects every age group, but more especially it affects people who are above 40.
Okay.
But it affects every age group.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think it's coming from a different there. Sorry for
I'm
that.
sorry.
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so it affects every age group because it depends the risk factor or the causative agent.
Okay.
But in most cases, it is not a disease that may be caused by bacteria or virus, but there are some risk factors. And these factors too, they are linked to certain age group.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time, when a person is above 50, maybe they are 60 or so, They're the one who can normally calm down, who these conditions are permanent among. So therefore, we will find erectile dysfunction there. But mind you, there are people who are very young, maybe in their 30s
Mm-hmm.
or so, who may have erectile dysfunction because they got type 2 diabetes that they are fighting with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm here thinking about the major cause. I mean, growing up, someone is growing up as a kid and never experienced all of this. How did this thing start to happen? Is there a major cause that, yes, have caused a problem and you found out that the man cannot function in this kind of way?
Okay, major cause. There are some causes, but it may not be because sometimes these conditions can happen, and you will think that because a person has this condition, but sometimes
Mhm.
John Brown can be having diabetes or hypertension,
Okay.
and Paul has diabetes or hypertension, but either one of them may come down with erectile dysfunction or even none of them. But most of the time, you find it with people who got these conditions. That what we say a risk factor. It
Mhm.
may not be a direct cause.
Risk factor.
Yeah, risk factors.
Okay.
So most of the factors are if a patient with prostate problems,
Mhm.
if the patient has prostate enlargement, whether it's from a benign tumor or malignant, they may have erectile dysfunction. If the patient also got type 2 diabetes, they may
Mm.
come down with that.
Hmm.
Hypertension is also a risk factor, or vascular disease, say vascular or surgery. And if there is high level of cholesterol in the body,
Okay.
the person may also have erectile dysfunction. And sometimes these things are due to some psychological condition. For example, if a man maybe get married, that may not be permanent now, but sometimes it can happen.
Okay.
If a man get married to a lady, maybe he got married to that lady all of his will. All of his will means that not somebody what he love,
Mhm.
but because of the situation on the ground, maybe the woman is pregnant, she carrying a child, and in the society, maybe he wants to go for a governmental position. He
Mhm.
doesn't want people to look at him, look bad, society to look down on him. So he decides to get married to this other woman here, were pregnant for him. Then he got a woman that he really loved, that he really wants to be with.
Hmm.
Anytime by the time it reached for them to be intimate, for them to have sexual intercourse, his mind and everything is on that other lady that he's not married to.
He's thinking of the other person.
He on the other person.
Why lay on the other with a married woman?
Yes,
Uh huh.
sometimes it can happen. Sometimes maybe for not even for that for his own selfish gain. Maybe he see that the woman here, she's somebody who is upright. Maybe that somebody with master degree, she got part of property, or
Mm-hmm.
she got means that he can
Then you go jump behind her.
he go jump behind her. She
Mm-hmm.
get means that they can come up quick, and then he will be there enjoying this, enjoying it that. Then he decide to get married to her.
Mm.
Mm.
And then like that, psychologically, his heart is not on that woman. So sometimes there will be erectile dysfunction. Those ones can happen. And sometimes when that person come to the hospital, that's the reason why when they come to the doctor or whosoever is seeing them to the clinician, you want to know how many children you have,
Okay.
or you want to know concerning their relationship, more especially when it is for this people, you should know concerning their relationship when they got married, whether he has all of
Mm-hmm.
sexual partners or those kind of things. When it started, whether it started before the marriage or it started after the marriage, all of those things you will know. And if it is psychological, the only thing you can do is you can counsel the person and
Mm.
you can bring the person to time.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, Reverend, how effective is acupuncture in the treatment of erectile dysfunction?
Acupuncture is very effective in treating erectile dysfunction. Acupuncture is believed to work by stimulating your nerves, which release hormones. And if the erectile dysfunction is due to hormonal imbalance, the hormone testosterone, if it is due to hormones imbalance,
Mm.
acupuncture is very effective in our case. And acupuncture also has the ability to lift up your spirit,
Okay.
because acupuncture can also treat depression.
Mhm.
So if maybe the possibility is due to
Depression causes erection sometimes.
sometimes, yeah,
Okay.
sometimes it can
Okay.
cause erectile dysfunction. So if it has the ability to treat depression, so it will lift up the spirit, and then it will help with the treatment. So when the nerves release the hormones, which it also increase the threshold of pain.
Mhm.
And acupuncture also increase circulation, the circulation of the blood,
Okay.
which can help to regulate blood sugar or create other health benefits. And there is an energy pathways that the body that can come through the body. It comes in the form of chewy. The Chinese man say chewy, and
Okay.
the chewy is flow. The flowing of the chewy in through the meridian when you insert the acupuncture needle, it creates a system that elevate the person well-being. They elevate your well-being. It makes the person feel good. In other words, it just how it do to the body as a whole. It does it to every cell that in the body. It makes the cell to reawaken to function properly.
Hmm.
And acupuncture is also described as a way to unblock the pathway that allows to unblock every pathway of illness. That what acupuncture does. Because the Chinese people believe that everybody believes that the life is in the blood.
Mhm.
So once there is a proper blood flow to any area of the body, there will be no disease condition. Not only erectile dysfunction, the hypertension cell, it will start the blood will start to pump correctly, and it will start to make correction. If it is arthritis, it will start to the fluids in the joint will start to function properly, and the thereby cutting down the risks of arthritis. So acupuncture is very effective when it comes to the treatment of erectile dysfunction.
Yes, I'm here listening, and I'm sure more men are following.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is very,
Yeah.
very educated.
Let's look at the treatment aspect. It's a bond that yes, if this is happening to a male, it cannot be treated or it can be treated. Let's look at the treatment aspect of it.
It can be treated.
Mm-hmm.
Erectile dysfunction can be treated, like we said in our opening statement. We say it can be treated by medical professionals.
Okay.
Okay.
Medical
We got
professionals.
medications that they can take for it. We got acupuncture, some Chinese medicine, and some Western medicine. But right now, I'm doing Chinese medicine, so I know more about the Chinese medicine to treat erectile dysfunction together with the acupuncture.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a good.
Before you ask the next question, the only advice I want to give all men, including myself, stop taking uh, medications to strengthen yourself for
Mm-hmm.
woman affairs until you see the doctor. It's always important to do so because most of those things we take are creating more problem for us, especially if you don't even know that you have diabetes already, and you are there taking energy drinks, especially the ones with sugar.
Okay.
Once you have diabetes already, and you take energy drinks, you make the kids bad. So the best thing is to go to the hospital.
You saw what rumbled on social media yesterday. Almost everybody on the Facebook was posting, oh, the rain, I'm mixing my beta
Yeah.
cola with this, with that, with mixed with this. And that took the entire social media everywhere.
When you go to the hospital, for
Uh-huh.
example, like Mrs. Rhea is saying, we have witnesses at our clinic. You will get that the acupuncture treatment is natural. It is acupuncture is recognized by the WHO.
Okay.
But the WHO says that acupuncture treats about 47 different illnesses. So it's possible there. But when you start to take bitter cola, you don't even know the measurement you're taking. Maybe you're supposed to take half of it. You're taking 3, 4 because you want to be strong. You're killing yourself. So my advice is to go to the hospital.
How long should a man last for in sex? Since we're talking about this erected dysfunction, you know, I mean, there are others who will not want to call. There are some men people listening and say, "Well, my husband don't last." Just like there go this chicken after 1 minute. How many minutes your man last for?
Sexual intercourse should be between 5 to 7 minutes.
5 to 7 minutes.
Yes.
Okay, so
No,
if someone hit 15 minutes, 20 minutes, then what's happening there?
I mean,
Well,
you can hit 10 minutes, it will still be in a normal range.
Yeah.
Okay,
even up to 10 minutes, take 10 minutes. They call it desirable.
okay.
But once you start to go 20, 25, 30,
Something happened.
something is wrong. You need to see the doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not normal. You know, there's a connection, there's a vessel between the spinal cord and the brain.
Okay, both
Once
of them connects together.
once it is
Okay.
damaged, it will be very hard for you to discharge. There are some people who don't discharge at all, and that is very bad. I told you about a case here one time where a woman in 1998 in Lofa put in for divorce to leave her man. That traditional marriage, she went back to her people and said, "I can't make it. I can't stay with this man." Like I said before, every woman wants maximum satisfaction, but not maximum pain. Yes.
why?
So
That's so wonderful.
is this all about the male? What about the female?
And one thing also
Uh-huh.
what I want us to get clear is that people who are eating beta cola, yes, it's a good. I don't know how to classify it. If people eat it, even the ordinary cola, but it got too much caffeine in it.
Caffeine.
Yeah, caffeine, and caffeine can cause hypertension.
Okay.
Caffeine can make your pressure to go up. So you eating beta cola, make sure you are not hypertensive. If anyone is hypertensive, I would say plain blank, avoid beta cola, avoid the ordinary cola.
That is high blood pressure.
Yeah, high blood pressure. Avoid beta cola, avoid the ordinary cola. If Jeha will tell you to avoid coffee if you are hypertensive.
Okay, folks, it's here this morning on the Truth Breakfast Show. We have us very Reed. She comes from the New Hope Clinic, where we are talking about the stroke cases because we've been informed that you treat most stroke cases at the New Hope Clinic.
Yes, we treat different cases, but the stroke patients can be more. If you look at the ratio, it's like if we have maybe 10 patients this week, maybe more than 5, 6 will be a stroke, then the other maybe two arthritis and maybe one erectile dysfunction or something like that. But the stroke cases are more. And,
Okay.
because stroke itself is a complication of certain conditions. A patient has hypertension, high blood pressure, and the pressure is very high, they can come down with stroke. If patient got diabetes, it can go into diabetic coma and they can come down with stroke. A patient got immune deficiency syndrome, they can also come down with stroke. So stroke patients we treat stroke patients more, but stroke is actually the condition in which the blood supply to the brain is cut off. Whether the vessel is that the blood is passing through is burst, or whether that vessel is blocked, or maybe it just stops for a few minutes. But once the blood supply to the brain is cut off, then you have the condition called stroke.
Wow. So is that the main cause of it?
Yes, if either the blood supply to the brain is cut off by being ruptured, or is cut off by being blocked. And if it is ruptured, then there is bleeding in the brain. Then that is called hemorrhagic stroke. My patient the family wanted to know yesterday that the stroke where the patient has, whether that stroke is hemorrhagic or ischemic stroke. I said, well, from the symptoms and from our examination and other things, that stroke is hemorrhagic.
Okay.
Yeah. And they wanted to know whether I was doing CT scan to know. I said, no, I don't do CT scan yet. But if you really want to know, I can still send a patient either to Germany or JFK somewhere for them to do the CT scan. But I know exactly what I'm doing. So if you can afford a CT scan, then we can send you to do that the CT scan. You can bring the result and we'll still treat you.
Right. And I think it is an opportunity for me to ask this question, because many sometimes say that because of maybe the high level of sex sometimes lead to stroke. So yeah, so let me use this opportunity at least to ask this question.
High level of sex.
Yeah.
I do not want to agree with it, and I do not want to dispute the fight
Okay.
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 because there are times people are hypertensive and they do not know, and they go to have sex, and sometimes they can fall off from there because sex is sexual itself uh, uh, is an exercise, and once the exercise is too much and there is an underlying cause of the patient having hypertension, they can fall off. But not you are normal and everything all right because you have sex 2 or 3 times a week or even 4 or 5 times a week, and then the sex lasts for 7 or 8 minutes or 10 minutes, then you will get stroke. No, that's not the
Okay.
case.
Is there anything that sign or symptom, very?
Of stroke?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there is sign and symptom of stroke. One sign and symptom that is very common is the patient inability to remember simple things.
Okay.
Maybe somebody that work with you every day, you call the person name every day, you're there over and over 3, 4 years. Then one point in time you want to talk about the person, then you can't remember. Yeah, the man what I want PRO.
Mm.
That Mr. What the man he said.
Mm.
Then you will know there is something happening because
Okay.
they're not somebody you should forget about.
Mm-hmm.
But then thereafter, after that sign and symptom, also you also have headache,
Headache.
constant headache.
Mm-hmm.
When you having constant headache, it better you check up. Because if you do not check, do not do your checkup, maybe the headache is due to the elevation in your blood pressure. I mean, your blood pressure going up or so, and you may come down with stroke. There is also what we call numbness. Maybe you got numbness of the mouth or one side of the mouth because sometimes you get stroke, you just get wind stroke. The whole side will be okay, but only the mouth will be twisted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me just read one of the posts on Facebook that is trending. Someone just posted last night. So this took the entire social media. What didn't happen? What didn't concern me about the weather when I tap in the community league with 10 points and they have the stout, they have bitter cola, all of these different
Mm.
herbs all mixed and displayed in the social media. The effect of it, making then the guy say yes, this will make me perform my duty well.
Yes, that's why Onokoti was trying to say to perform your duty, sexual intercourse, it should not be, that you have to take medicine or you have to take some substance before you can perform. If it reaching to that stage now, then it better you consult the doctor or the specialist or the hospital to know what is happening. This thing should be a normal thing that you do once that's something where it should be normal for the body.
Okay.
Yeah, when you can walk normally.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that when time reach now for you to walk, then by the time you step on the right foot, it ping so
Mm-hmm.
much you can't walk like from here to the Kota Road or from here to how you call it place to the junction there to Dubo Road Junction. You won't
Mm.
able to walk there. Then instead of taking things that will make you go and do a checkup, so it's just the same way with sex. If you're not performing your normal sexual activity, then you need to check up instead of just taking this up because most of those things you're taking, like he said, if some of them contain too much sugar, you do not know whether you have diabetes. If it contains too much caffeine, you do not know whether you are hypertensive. So it better you do the checkup. There why acupuncture fit in so good because acupuncture is a natural means So even if you're not sick, you have not come down with a condition itself, but you just observe that it's not very normal. Maybe the way you used to be, right? You can come, you say, "Oh, I want to do acupuncture for fitness." There are people who come to do, there are some acupoints that we do for fitness, that your body will be fit, your body will return to its normal state.
Okay.
Before you reach to the hospital level, if you want to take in something,
Yeah.
like the doctor is saying, leave the bitter cola, leave the energy drinks, eat some fruits and vegetables. They can really help.
Okay.
Like in one of my health tips, I told you about olive oil,
Mm,
especially extra virgin olive oil.
okay.
Take a spoon every night. Every morning, take one on empty stomach, and the night before you go to bed, 1 hour before going to bed, take one spoon. Those things can help.
That's a good. So before going for the line, Reverend Jess, hit us on what other cases does acupuncture treat before we go to the telephone line?
Acupuncture treats many other conditions. Like Onakoti said, the WHO approved that acupuncture can treat 47 different diseases. And at New Hope,
Mm.
we treat stroke, hypertension, diabetes, sexual dysfunction, whether it is erectile dysfunction or it is quick or premature ejaculation, but we treat sexual dysfunction with acupuncture. We treat migraine headache. We treat arthritis. We treat sport injury. We treat we treat migraine headache. We treat sport injury. We treat many other conditions that acupuncture can treat.
Okay. Well, folks, so welcome again to the TBS. You have us Mr. David Coty and Mrs. Helen Reese for now the New Hope. Clearly this morning with us, we are discussing health matter. So you can call us on 0
Mm-hmm.
triple seven
Mm-hmm.
285961. Add the numbers for you to call 0 triple seven 285961. What Oni can also announce on line
Yes,
too.
yeah, yes. So this is zero triple seven 285 961. Let's get the line and pick up some calls up. Just go to the point. All right. Let's do a minute per call. Good morning. Good morning. Go ahead. Oh,
Look,
they jumping in a problem.
I hope you see the guy one day.
Yeah, hey,
They
the
have way
man,
of doing
yeah,
everybody.
they up there, yeah, the man said
What is our
you an enemy. Chame. What?
what?
Jumping it?
You know when I brought another doctor here
Yeah,
about the arm.
the same thing.
That I was thinking over, he didn't know that the woman didn't bring car that day. We were going to ERDC. That man was telling the woman they gave us
Hold
something.
on.
And it
Mhm.
was all go ahead
Yeah.
show. We'll go.
Yes. Morning. Morning. Go ahead. What? Okay. Go ahead, Melvin. Okay. Thank you. Just leave the line. Let's pick another call on. Should answer all of your questions. Good morning. Morning. Morning.
Go ahead.
Will you have what? If you have power, what
Oh
are you
yeah,
going? Okay. All right. Thank you.
yeah.
Uh, okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Let's get the line up. Another call coming through this morning. This president of the line, breakfast show, the TBS, O'Neill and Sue together. Good morning. Morning. Okay. Sergio, go ahead. Okay. All right. All right. Thank you. Let's see who's on the line. The calls just banking. Good morning. I'm hearing myself in the
Yeah.
background.
Walk away from
It's
your
not
monitor,
good.
please.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. The line's still ringing. Let's see if I can pick just one more call. Don't go back to our guest. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, this is Hallie Reid. You listen up to the callers. Yes, you get the response.
Okay. Thank you, caller. The first caller wanted to know about the age group. And one thing I want to also say is that a, a group for the men to know, these are some few facts that men to know, that with age, sexual some changes in sexual functions are normal with age.
Hmm. Okay.
That, for example,
Okay.
if somebody is in a 60,
Hmm.
going to 70,
Hmm.
if you want to say you supposed to, the penis supposed to be erecting that one night, you go 3 4 times. If they can erect only one time a night, it is very normal.
Okay.
Yes. So some of the sexual changes that goes along with age, especially when a person is advanced, is normal. And sometimes some people can be so obsessed about it. Somebody will be in their 70, maybe 75, going to 80. Then they come, then they are worried about sexual activity. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you should perform it, but to some extent, you should know that
You're
when
Asian now.
yeah, you are aging, and when the penis is weak, is normal of the body. You
Yeah.
see,
Okay.
so you should, when it comes to health, you should be concerned. Somebody who is 75, 80, 85 should be concerned about their body function, whether their heart is beating correctly or whatever. Then to be concerned so much that they can't have sex, the penis can erect 2 3 times a night.
Hmm.
I made that man call for his omen.
Yes.
He
So
said age level.
the man say he hit you.
My enemy.
You an enemy for healthcare
Yeah.
business. Yeah. Go ahead.
And then somebody asked for drink for the hypertensive patient. The drink that I know is very, very good for hypertensive patient is water, more
Water.
especially room temperature water.
Okay.
But the guy aloe vera drinks, they say they are natural. Nothing wrong with it. You can drink that. Yes.
In terms of that, I mean, I'm receiving all the text messages as well. In terms of cost, is it the New Hope so costly? Someone is listening and said, "Well, I've listened to Mrs. Reed. Can I go to the New Hope in terms of treatment, the cost wise?"
Cost wise, New Hope is not costly. New Hope is not costly. And when you think cost is relative. But registration to New Hope, I can always say registration and consultation is $15
Okay.
for them to face the chart. For you register, they put your name down, they face your chart. You go, you see the doctor or you see the clinician who is in charge, and everything is just $15. So after that, if you need to do laboratory work or you need to get certain medications or the treatment, then we'll order it. And it's difficult for us to treatment is not like you are selling clothes and say, well, these type of glasses they should be this price or they should make in Italy should be this price. No, it's not like that. Because even if both patients come, maybe the both of them get hypertension, and you check, one may have a large deposit of cholesterol in their vessel, and the other one may be their cholesterol may be low. So the two patients there, two of them, they are diagnosed as hypertensive patients, but their treatment will not be the same. So the
Wow.
cost, because the treatment may not be the same, so the cost may not be the same. So it's difficult for us to say you will pay this amount to treat this disease. No. So when you come, then of course we'll explain to you and tell you what we need to do for you and what you need to pay. So, but it's not costly. Then I already addressed the issue about the drink.
Mhm.
And then somebody asked whether PASS can cause sexual dysfunction. I would say yes. And indeed, it is a great yes. Because when patient has PASS, you got hemorrhoid, the vessels, the hormones, and the vessels that are of the perineal area, the sexual organ, is so close to that where you having a pain. So therefore, you will have pain. You will not even for this the penis to erase that, it will be painful. For you to even have sex, it will be painful. So when you get power, it can be it can also lead to sexual dysfunction. It may not be erectile dysfunction, but it can lead to sexual dysfunction. And PAR is one of those conditions that we can treat successfully with acupuncture.
Okay. Where is the New Hill Clinic located? Your location, telephone number, if you have one, someone's listening that would like to place your phone call.
Okay, let me deal with that. The New Hope Clinic is in Painesville on the Soul Clinic Road. But let me call the numbers to you that you need to call to get to the New Hope. Number 1-877-517464. 0-877-517464. That's the doctor's number. She's right here. You can call her directly, but not now. Wait until after we leave studio. Number 2-886-559014. 0-886-559014. Or 0770-210-790. 0770-210-790. Or you can call me. My numbers are 0-777-511-977 or 0-886-511-977.
Okay, someone is watching all over now, Facebook from the US. How can I have this medication? I'm in the US. Please send me your number. So, James David, I'm going to pin David code number that you can call him via WhatsApp. Yes, the guy's in Pennsylvania, in the USA. Yeah, maybe another thing we have not added up to it. Mrs. Reed, you care to touch it in the next 4 5 minutes?
Okay. Yeah, but I think I need to finish the questions I will
Okay.
ask.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Somebody asks, I talk about a part whether excessive sex when you are young, it can lead to stroke. Again, excessive sex depending on it. If you do not have any underlying factor like hypertension or other diseases, it may not be able to cause stroke. You say whether sexual dysfunction when you have infection, whether it can lead to sexual dysfunction. Yes, sometimes when you have infection, one of the tests you can do when patient come with sexual dysfunction is VDRL, the venereal disease test. Sometimes if you have it, it can lead to sexual dysfunction.
All right. Yes, another thing we have done, touch. Maybe you care to add up to that?
Okay, what will not touch? Okay, I think there are some things the men should know when it comes to sexual dysfunction.
A few minutes. A few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and sexual dysfunction is a sign that you know that sexual problem is a sign of cardiovascular or other medical issue. There is a strong link between sexual function and mental health. And medication for mental illness, it may also cause sexual changes.
Okay.
So that which you also
Hmm.
know. I already told them that with age, some sexual changes are normal.
Can you solve this? I received a heart touching message. I took 2 minutes. This person said, keeping it anonymous. I took 2 minutes tablets for sex, and I cannot function with all tablets. Can you solve this?
Yes, we
Okay.
can start treating a person with acupuncture.
Okay. Please
And
announce. Please announce your number again. The hospital number quickly.
the numbers,
Uh huh.
the numbers are 0-777-517-464.
Gotta go slowly.
0-777-517-464. or 0770 210
Mhm.
790.
Please don't call now. She stays in studio. I know Liberian people.
Yeah.
But yeah, you call after the show.
Or
Yes.
0886 55 9014. 0886 55 9014. Or you call on the coach's number.
Mhm.
And his numbers are 0777 or 0886 0777 or 0886 511 977.
Great. Yes.
Somebody just sent me a text. Let me make you. You were trying to clarify all the.
Mhm.
When I came to help day this morning, I said women should go for screening for
Mhm.
breast cancer.
Mhm.
And the doc was saying here that when it comes to sexual
Dysfunction.
dysfunction, if you can't pick up, you can't do maybe it doesn't need a test, a screening
Before it can be diagnosed.
before it can be. She said
Mhm.
that one that you know, your man, you're not functioning, you know, I
You
don't know
will
test
know.
business, and you will
Mhm.
know. So
The only thing what you can do is the doctor will want to find out the cause
Yeah.
of it. That one they can do some tests
Yeah.
and other things to find out the test.
Yeah.
But it's good to do other testing for other conditions.
Okay.
Mhm.
thank you.
Very well. So let's close up. Let's start out with Mary Reed. Yes, and the final words will take leave.
Final word. Time is so short.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, the
Yes.
final
The
word.
text messages, the calls you receive. Yeah. So just go and stand by.
Yeah, so
Yes. Mhm.
the final word is at New Hope. We have a slogan. We say New Hope Rehabilitation, Fitness and Health Clinic. We are there to serve you. We are there to serve the public. We want you to know when you have this problem, migraine headache, sexual problem, hemorrhoid or path, you should come. Stroke, you should come to the clinic. Don't say that medicine they throw on you. We are there to serve you. Thank you.
My advice to the public: always do a general checkup every year. In fact, that's the main purpose of the health tip every morning.
Mhm.
Go to the hospital once or twice a year. You don't have to be sick before you go and check. Go to a hospital, good one, and check yourself to know what you have, what the problems are. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, Mrs. Helen Reed and that of Derry Ernest Curtis, CEO New Hope Clinic. He can place in a number. He calls 0777-511-977 and they'll answer all of your questions. Let's get our break. We'll come back. We'll bring on a team from the LRA coming up shortly. Let's bring our break. We'll be right back on the TBS. Don't go away.
I said, Chi, my son Teddy Rat Kanye. You not pay your LC bill?
My name is Philip.
Yeah, Mama
Kwan.
Labrat. I'm
I'm in charge of mobile
You sure?
applications.
How you buy it?
Today, I'd like to talk to you about the EcoBank Express account. Do you know you can open a bank account without having to go visit a bank branch? Do you also know that you can open a bank account without having to fill all the paperwork that is normally associated with opening a bank account? Yes, this is true. This is what the EcoBank Express account offers you. The EcoBank Express account is a digital account that is opened using just your mobile number. This account allows you access to a wide range of banking services that is available today. To open an EcoBank Express account, you have two options. The first option allows you to use a smartphone and the internet to open your Express account. To use this option, you need to visit the Google Play Store or the App Store to look for the EcoBank mobile app and install on your smart device. Once launched, click on the Get Started button. You'll be presented with options to use the app. Since you intend to open an Express account and you are not an existing EcoBank customer, click on No, I'm new to EcoBank. You will then be prompted to select the country in which you want to open the EcoBank Express account. For this test, we will select Ghana and then enter our mobile number. You'll be presented with the option to review the terms and conditions attached to the use of the EcoBank mobile app, as well as our data privacy policy. If you are okay with these, you click on the Continue button. We will now prompt you to select how you would want to bank with EcoBank. In this case, you will select Express account. we will automatically send a code to the mobile number you provided to verify your identity. As you can see, the code was just automatically read into the app. And once this was verified successfully, you'll be asked to provide your personal details. I will provide my first name, my middle name, my initials, my surname. I will select my date of birth and then provide my email address. I will select my gender. I will then click on the continue button. I'll be asked to select an ID type to use. In this instance, we will use our mobile number. I will enter my address, and then I can choose to review the terms and conditions associated with the use of the Ecobank Express account. I can then go ahead to create an Ecobank Express account. On the success of the creation of the Express account, customer can then select a 6-digit PIN of their choice for you to use to access the app. You then click on the continue button. To enable you successfully do a PIN reset or change your PIN as necessary, you are asked to provide answers to a number of secret questions. Once completed, click on create profile. You will then be asked to select the option of rewarding someone who referred you if this is applicable. Otherwise, you click on skip. You'll be prompted to allow the app to access some of your contacts and details, and then voila, you will then be able to immediately start transacting using the account. The second option involves the use of your phone, but this time without internet, so you can use
Liberia. Well, on this last segment, we have Isaac B. Stevens, Assistant Commissioner, Taxpayer Services Division, Liberia Revenue Authority. This morning, we'll be talking about understating tax returns and tax reform. Yes, it's great that we bring on Isaac this morning. Whenever we send our invitation, the team from LRA always accepting. It's good. Isaac, good morning. Welcome to the TBS. How you doing this morning? Great. How is the Revenue Authority? Mhm. Great. Thanks for accepting our invitation. Whatever the place in the invitation, you guys was turning up.
It's always our pleasure to be here to inform the Liberian people about the work of the Liberia Revenue Authority and our obligation as citizens to pay our taxes. Somebody once said that taxes are what we pay for a civilized society. So if we want to enjoy all of the amenities that we go to other countries and see, we have to exercise our patriotic duty and fulfill our obligation of paying taxes to the government people of Liberia.
Okay, great. So this broadcast is relayed also on Joy FM 101.5 and Banan FM 98.5 relaying this broadcast. Yes, let's go straight into business. In terms of tax returns and tax reform, someone is listening up to the radio and want to have a full knowledge. What is this tax return and tax reform?
Well, let me phrase it. I like to start from who is a taxpayer first, right? So I think it would be better to start from there, because somebody might say, well, I don't really need to listen to this. I'm not a taxpayer, or I am a taxpayer. So we need to know who is a taxpayer first, and then we can go into discussing the definition of tax refund and tax return. So a taxpayer is a person or an entity who is obligated to pay taxes. That's what a taxpayer is. So if you are obligated to pay taxes, you are a taxpayer. In Liberia, the LRA administer 7 kinds or 7 types of taxes. And if you have obligation under any of these tax kinds, you are a taxpayer. So let's start from there. So at least our listening audience will understand what they are, a taxpayer. And taxes primarily arises out of one, ownership. For example, if you have property, you're supposed to pay your property tax. You're supposed to pay your withholding, 10% withholding tax. The second thing that taxes arises out of is earning or income. When you earn an income, you had to pay taxes. It could be business, it could be, a business tax, individual tax, like for employment, withholding tax. And when you purchase, such as GST in Liberia, pretty soon we will be converting to VAT, that's the value added tax. So these are the three areas in which taxes normally arises. Right. Now, you say what is a tax return, right? That's the
the tax returns and tax refund.
Okay. Tax returns are simply documentations filed with the tax authority that lists all of your income and all of your expenses and other relevant financial information. So that is tax return. In other words, you are filing all of your income streams along with all of the associated expenses and other relevant financial information to the tax authority. That is the return. It's just a document. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
A paper document. But for now, our large tax and medium tax payers are obligated to do that filing online. But they are simply documentation that you file showing all of your income stream, all the money you've earned, whether you engage in business or whether you are working or whatsoever, or you own property. That is the tax return. And the tax refund is actually a reimbursement that the taxpayer receives, a reimbursement that the taxpayer receives if they overpay their taxes. At the end of the year, taxpayers are supposed to pay. To file taxes. We just talk about the filing. And if you file your taxes and your return shows that you overpay your taxes, you get a refund. So that's the refund. So it's just an overpayment of taxes. A refund is an overpayment of taxes that is given back to the taxpayer by the authority.
All right, great. So since having answered who is a taxpayer, then the next one I'm thinking about, how do someone become a taxpayer?
Okay. I think I went ahead of myself a little bit earlier. You become a taxpayer when you have a tax obligation. And like I said, generally you will have a tax obligation when you own, when you earn, and when you purchase.
Okay.
All right. For example,
you own, you earn,
right,
and you purchase.
Right.
Okay.
For example, when you go to a restaurant, right, you pay for your food. There's a GST, goods and services tax, that is taxed on that food that you eat, which is about 10%. Okay. So that's what we call you are purchasing, right? But if you are earning, like for those of us who work, whether you work for government or private entities or public, wherever you work, you're supposed to report your income, and that income, your employer is going to take the withholding tax. We call it PRT, personal income tax, for your earnings. So in that case, you are actually earning, or you operate a business. Okay, you are earning. And the third general thing that taxes arises out of is ownership. For example, if you have property, you are supposed to pay your real property tax and also pay the 10% rental income on that property. All right. So taxes arises out of these three major categories: ownership, earning, and purchase.
All right, that's good. So, how can one become a taxpayer?
Well, it starts with, first, if you have a tax obligation, it starts with registering with the Liberia Revenue Authority, wherein we will give you your tax identification number. Okay. This is a number that uniquely identifies you as a tax payer. But if you are employed with a company, the withholding obligation is on the employer to withhold the taxes from your income and remit it to the Liberia Revenue Authority. If you have a business, you're supposed to file your taxes. Some are on a quarterly basis. Yeah, you're supposed to file some are on a monthly basis. When you file your taxes quarterly or bi-monthly, whatever the payment period is, at the end of the year, you file your final return. And out of that return is when we determine whether you overpay your taxes. And let me say this is usually what happens when you file. Three things happens when you file your taxes. Number one, you will either end up getting a refund, that means you overpay your taxes, and the tax authority have to process a refund for you. I will come to explaining how that process works later.
Okay.
Or you will end up break even. That means you pay the right amount of taxes. So there's no obligation on your part to pay additional taxes, and there's no obligation on the part of the authority to refund you because you pay the right amount of taxes. The third thing that could happen is you end up owing the authority because you pay less taxes than you were supposed to pay.
Okay.
So there's additional assessment of taxes that you have to pay.
Right. That's good, Stephen. So just give us the full definition of tax. Yeah.
A full definition of tax.
Yeah.
Well, taxes are, again, what you pay. You know, taxes arises out of laws that are promulgated by a country through its legislative process, right?
Sure.
So the government could decide today and say, well, if you engage in this kind of activities, or if you engage in this kind of endeavor, you are supposed to pay. And so all of our legislature is the one that promulgate taxes. They are the one that makes the law in terms of what each individual or business is supposed to pay. So a tax is simply what is promulgated into law that individuals are to pay that engages in certain kinds of endeavor as determined by the legislative branch of government and approved by the executive.
Great. Folks, if you're just tuning in, this is the Truth Breakfast Show, relay on Banana FM and Joy FM. We have Isaac Stephen, Commission on Taxpayer. This one, we're looking at tax returns and tax reform. Yes, let's get back to this one. In terms of qualifying, what qualifies a taxpayer to receive tax reform from the LRA?
A taxpayer qualifies to receive a tax refund, again, when they overpay their taxes, when they file their return and the filing determines that they overpay their taxes, they are entitled to a refund. So when you file your taxes, our auditors will go through all of your documentation, all of your filings, and if they determine that you overpay your taxes, you are entitled to a refund. They will validate the form to ensure that, number one, it is prepared accurately.
Okay.
You know, number two, they look at all of the supporting document and validate them. And if they determine at that point that you overpay your taxes, then you are entitled to a refund. But let me just explain the refund process very quickly. So if you are entitled to a refund, what the authority or the law says is this: you will have to file a refund claim form. You will have to file a refund claim form with the authority. This form, you fill it up. Again, as I indicated earlier, our auditors will go through it to make sure, to validate it. And then once they determine, yes, John Brown or Peter is entitled to a refund, you now come and fill up a refund claim form. Consistent with our law, it says you can do three things. Okay, you can decide that the return, the amount that you're supposed to receive, could be applied to previous obligation. In other words, if you were owing taxes of any kind, we can apply your refund to your previous tax obligation. If you do not have a prior tax obligation, you could elect to apply that against future tax obligation, whatever refund you are entitled to, future tax obligation. If you decide that no, I don't want to, my taxes to be used for future tax obligation, I need my refund, then of course you will have to fill up the refund claim form, and it will take 30 days because we do not disburse money. We generate revenue for the government through taxation, but we do not disburse money. We are not the disbursing arm. The disbursing arm is the Ministry of Finance. So when you fill up the form, we will submit the form to the Ministry of Finance, and by law, they're supposed to refund you within 90 days.
Great. Yes, to reform you in 90 days. Let's get to the benefits. What are the benefits of tax payment for nation building?
Well, I can't overemphasize that enough. As I stated from the beginning of our conversation, I told you that somebody once said, and I really echo the person's sentiment at this moment that taxes are what we pay for a civilized society. I always say when I come here that I have not seen any nation or any country on earth that have truly developed and meet the social needs and aspirations of its citizen without those citizens making the commitment, the solemn commitment, making it a patriotic duty to pay their taxes. We will never aspire to be the country we want to be, the nation we want to be, the country where we want our children to grow and prosper, unless we all commit to paying our share of taxes. And this is very important. I mean, if we can commit to paying our taxes, we can be all that God has ordained and purpose our nation to be.
Great. We'll get the lines activated very soon. Let's get to this one. I'm yet thinking about the policy. Yes. Is there a tax reform policy different from other tax authorities?
Well, I didn't understand. Yeah, I didn't understand that.
Yeah, so let me place the question the exact way.
Okay, good.
How is the LRA tax reform policy different from other tax authorities?
Okay. Well, every jurisdiction have their own tax law. They have their own tax law. They have their own tax regulation. So yes, of course, it would vary from country to country, or sometimes there are regional taxes from region to regions in terms of their tax policy. So I can speak more of our policy here in Liberia, but I also have lived in other countries and work and file taxes as well. So I can speak to that a little bit. For example, in the U.S., when you file your return at the end of the year, for the most part, if you are entitled to a refund, you can expect to get that refund in a very reasonable time, maybe within maybe a month or weeks or so, depending on whether you file electronically, or the filing process that you use. In other countries such as Liberia, we say if you file your taxes and you are entitled to a refund, you can apply it against your previous tax or prior tax obligation, or you can apply it to future tax obligations. So in a sense, that differs from that of the United States. And I'm sure every country has its own tax policy regarding tax filings and tax return, and so forth. So yeah, tax policies vary across.
Okay. Yes. To run it up quickly, let's look at the payment options. In terms of paying, the available to LRA towards a tax, who qualifies for tax reforms?
Okay, so for payment of taxes, we have different payment methods that we use at LRA. One of those is cash. Let's start with cash. You can pay your taxes in cash if it is less than 250 United States dollar. You can pay directly at any of our service center, even in the counties, the TBOs, and then you can also pay through mobile money if you like to pay through that. So that's cash, mobile money. We are also now integrated with commercial banks. In fact, our new system, the Liberia Integrated Tax Administration System, we call it LETAX. We are already integrated with a lot of banks, wherein you just walk, you apply on our platform, and you go through the bank, and everything is processed very quickly. So those are methods that we use. We are looking at improving in terms of using a credit card or debit cards and POS to be able to pay your taxes as well. And then you can also use a manager's check, from the bank. But like I said, the banks are now integrated with our system. So more likely people are now we are really trying to migrate all of our taxpayer to have them to make sure that they are registered on our platform and be able to use our payment platform through LETA's integration with our commercial banks.
Great. So let's make this interactive. Isaac B. Stevens, the Commercial Taxpayer Services Division Revenue Authority. And this one we're looking at understating tax returns and tax reform. This show is Relay on Joy 101.5 and Banner 98.5. My name is O'Neill. Let's get the lines activated. 0777-285-961. If you have questions, let's stick to the issue. And we'll bring you live this morning. 0777-285-961. Let's pick our very first call on the line. This one right here on the TBS. Good morning. Morning. Caller, are you there? Okay, this person not going through. Let's go to line 2 and see this person. Good morning. No, you have to move on the morning time. Hearing myself in the background. Morning. Great, go ahead. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Just hold on. After done with the callers, then you come in. Thank you so much. You can hang off the line. Thank you. Let's go to line 2. Good morning. Morning. Move from the morning to. I will definitely get you. Go ahead. Yeah. Next slide. Yes, switch it off. Go ahead. I'm hearing you. Go ahead. Okay. Yeah, so you're on too. I think your eyes on the refund and the payment. Anyway, good morning. Grand Bassa. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you for your great question. Commissioner Stephen will answer all of your questions. Let's go to the line. Good morning. Morning. Go ahead. Okay. All right. Great. I'll get 2 more calls and go back to him. Yes, 0777-285-961. Yes, call you be live on the breakfast show, the last segment of the TBS 0777-285-961. Yeah, Commissioner Stevens, you can respond to some of the callers. When you are through, we'll go back with more calls.
Okay. The first caller asks whether tax refund or return is different from America. And as I said earlier, they are different. Every country has their own tax policy. So American tax policy is different from Liberia's tax policy. But when it comes to refund or return, refunds are what you get when you overpay your taxes. That is the same thing in America. When you overpay, you will get a refund. The processes you go through in getting that refund may differ from Liberia. Return in America is the same as return in Liberia. Returns are simply documentations that you file at the end of the year to showing the tax authority your income stream and your expenses. And the difference, if you overpay, is what you get in terms of refund. The second person talk about pay tax and can't see. I like to ask the caller, where do you think all of the things that are going on in this country, where do you think civil servants gets paid from? You know, they get paid from the taxes that you pay. The securities, the army, the police, the teachers, they get paid from the taxes that you pay. The roads that are being are constructed, the hospitals, they are all financed by the taxes that you pay. And in some instances, yes, we may have donor assistance, but majority of the development agenda of our country is driven by the taxes that you and I pay. So the roads that you travel on. So when you say you can't see, I'm a little baffled by that, but it's okay. But that's why we are here for, to let you know that the taxes you pay goes for public services for the country and also help to develop, our country. I would like to just ask if, assuming that you saying nothing, you can't see anything. I think what we really need to stress on is every citizen in Liberia, are they fulfilling their obligation to pay their taxes, even the caller? Are we patriotic enough to report our income and to pay our taxes? Because that's where it begins. If you do not pay the taxes, if the government does not have your tax dollars, they are not going to do the things that we need as a nation. And so it begins with the commitment for all of us to pay our taxes. The third caller talk about the salary. I think he was trying to look at the rate, how much you have to earn before you pay taxes. Our law says if you earn 70,000 LD, you can convert that if you want to at the prevailing rate. If you want to know that amount in US, if you make 70,000 or less in Liberian dollar a year, you do not have to pay taxes, zero taxes. If you make between 70,000 and $1 to 200,000, you pay 5% of that in terms of withholding income tax. If you earn between 200,000 and 1 to 800,000 and 1 a year, you will pay 6,500 as a fixed amount plus 15% of the excess over 200,000. And the last bracket that we have when it comes to tax rate, especially withholding tax rate, if you earn between 800 and 1,000 and above, you will pay 96,500 plus 25% of excess over 800,000. Some of them may require a little, detailed calculation, but I'm just giving you the tax bracket. So for your question, if you earn 70,000 or less, you don't have to pay any taxes in Liberia. You can convert that in US dollar, a prevailing rate, to know how much that is. And the fourth quarter talk about who determines refund. The refund is determined on the based on the taxes that you file, based on your filing. Okay, your filing is the one that determines whether you get a refund or not. If your filing shows that you overpay your taxes, obviously you are entitled to a refund. The third caller was a little bit disingenuous when he talked about why 90 days are they trying to steal. I think that's a little bit disingenuous to the hardworking people of LRA to think that the fact that it takes 3 months to get your refund, equate to people trying to steal. I think that was a little bit disingenuous on his part. But the reason why it takes 90 days is, as I said, we do not issue checks. We do not reimburse taxpayer for refund. Our is to, so when you file, number one, we have to have our auditors to validate your filing to ensure accuracy of your filing, okay? To make sure that you have all of the proper attachment in order to determine whether you are entitled to a refund or not. Then we send it to the Ministry of Finance, and Ministry of Finance have to do their own due diligence as well before they can issue you a check. So it's the delay is not because of anybody wanting to see. The delay is because we want to ensure that you are getting what you are entitled to based on the law. And again, whatever we do at LRA, okay, our reliance, our guardian is the Liberian Revenue Code, okay? That you need to be aware of that. So the 90 days is promulgated in law in the Liberian Revenue Code, which is a law.
Okay, yes, which is a law. So we have about 15 minutes, 14, 15 minutes left. So let's get a few more calls again. Yeah, yes, those of you listening up, this is the Truth Breakfast Show, the Revenue Authority, looking at tax refund. This morning, 077-725-961. Right here on the TBS. My name is O'Neill. Let's see if we can pick this call on the line again with our calling segment. Good morning. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Let's answer your question. Good morning. Okay, yes. This other caller. Good morning. Morning. Okay. Yes, please don't hold the line. Yes, you want to respond? I think I get called on the line
Yeah,
too.
James.
Okay. Yeah, just hold on. Sorry. Let's see, this person's been on the line for a long time. Good morning. Okay, please be audible a little bit. Go ahead.
I can't hear her.
Yes, hello. You're struggling to hear you. I'm not getting you. Please be audible a little bit.
Just taking it.
Okay. Yeah, but he actually didn't get your question because
Yeah,
you're sounding a
yeah.
little bit low.
Oh,
You want to take it back?
a little bit.
Yes, yes. Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry. Okay.
Okay, I think you got a question already. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Got a question. Let's pick up Kasumu Sila. Kasumu, morning.
Good morning.
question. What is the opportunity for citizens that are low-income citizens? If you are a low-income citizen and you have children, is there anything that the government will give as standard as compared to you saying you have to pay more before you get a return? Thank you very much, and I hope you always come back to educate us.
Thank you.
All right. Yes, you listen up to the callers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we will start with the last caller with Kasumo.
Mm-hmm.
Kasumo asked the question whether low-income citizens get some kind of a return to them because they have children and so forth. Our tax laws, unfortunately, do not have credits or in it for children when you file your taxes. Our tax law, we do not see that it has a credit or deduction for children for low income, and this is the reason why the law says that if you make 70,000 or less, you do not have to pay taxes because that's considered low income. Okay, this is why you have zero, and even from up to, if you make up to 200,000 LD a year, it says you will only pay 5%, which is very, very minimum. And we understand, and then I think those who promulgated the law, they had in mind that people will be earning less money, like 70,000 LD a year or so, and so they decided that you don't have to pay taxes because your income is very, very low. It's a lady that called and she talked about the refund time is too long. Her suggestion was, that time be shortened. All I can say is we take your recommendation and we will convey it to those who make tax policy for our country, and hopefully the legislature will take a look at that. We would very, very much seriously consider your recommendation. James talked about concession companies paying their taxes. Yes, they are doing business. When you engage in business and you are earning income, you're supposed to pay taxes. But besides taxes, yes, they have corporate social responsibility. Unfortunately, LRA is not the regulator, okay, the regulatory arm of government that seeks to ensure that concessions, agreements, or companies that sign as concession agreement with the country are fulfilling their social responsibility. So that, I think there are other government entities that oversee that. But for tax purposes, yes, they are supposed to pay their taxes. And as far as we know, many of them are paying their taxes. Another caller talked about they didn't understand the return and refund. I will go over that again one more time. Returns are just the paper that you file, the forms that you file with the tax authority, with all other attached documentation, financial documentation to show your earning and also shows your expenses. When your earnings, right, when your earnings exceeds your expenses, that's the one you're supposed to be paying your taxes on. So your taxes, if you pay, because what we do in Liberia, we have what we call presumptive tax. That is, you presume the taxes and you are paying on either a monthly basis, depending on the tax count, or quarterly basis. At the end of the year, you bring all of this together, and then you determine whether you overpay the taxes because you were paying presumptively, whether you overpay the taxes or you underpay the taxes. If you overpay, you get a refund. If you underpay, then you pay back the difference to the tax authority. One of the callers was talking about those who are preaching the law are abiding by the law. It is very important, and the Commissioner General impresses on all of our staff to ensure that whatever tax obligation they have, whether they have their own businesses, whether they have properties, that they pay their tax obligation. I can tell you about myself, where I sit here, I have a property and my property is registered with the tax authority and I pay my property tax. The withholding, we all know that our employers withhold our withholding taxes, and they do that for staff even at LRA. No one is truly exempt from paying taxes except by law. Okay, so yes, we do pay our taxes. In fact, we must be the first partaker of the fruit. So if we are the one preaching to others the importance of paying taxes, we must lead also in paying our share of taxes as well.
Yes. So any other thing that we have not covered? We can use the next 2 minutes to do so.
Well, let me say this: the best thing, taxation, the payment of taxation begins with acquiring your tax identification number. So if you do not have your tax identification number, we are asking you to come to the Liberia Revenue Authority. It will take about 10 to 15 minutes. We will create you a tax identification number. When you come, or when you are coming, please come with a passport size photo, right? Come with a passport size photo, a national ID on the power page of your passport, and we will create for you a tax identification number. This number uniquely identifies you as a taxpayer, uniquely identifies you as a taxpayer. It's not to be shared with another person. It would never be given to another person. It's very important because a lot of time, even those that we found out that there are some employer where the employee have not given them their tax identification number, or the employee do not have tax. We want to ensure that you get credit for the taxes that you pay. Or there will be time when you come to the Liberia Revenue Authority and you need to get a tax clearance because you want to maybe file, for different reason, maybe a contract, and you need a tax clearance. If we do not have your tax identification number, it becomes very difficult for the authority, or it gets very difficult for the authority to be able to, assess our system and determine whether you are entitled or you've been compliant to be given a tax identification number.
So lastly, before you take leave, I always listen. I always mind give is that what is my direct benefits of paying taxes for my farm? If I want to pay tax for my farm, are there benefits?
Well, the fact that you own a farm, I'm not sure you're just making that farm for survival. You are perhaps engaging in business, right? The Ministry of Agriculture do have some incentive for farmers, and all the time, even myself, when I listen to radio, I hear some of the incentive that the Ministry of Finance and other, the development agencies within our country help farmers. Okay, they do help farmers. We directly don't give money to farmers. Like I said, we are a revenue authority. We are not.
So that goes on to agriculture. Okay.
They do.
But you collect taxes for that.
Earning money from the farm.
You collect taxes for that. Okay.
And you're even supposed to pay taxes also on the farmland that you have. On the farmland, you're supposed to pay taxes on the farmland, as well as from the income derived from operating the farm as well. And so let me just give our website. There are a lot of information. Please, make it your business to visit our website as much as possible. That's www.lra.gov.lr, or you can send us information through info@lra.gov.lr, or better yet, you can call us on 0770-572-572, 0770-572-572. And let me just say, the law says if you earn 90% of your income from employment source, from one employment source, 90% of your income comes from employment source, right? You do not have to pay tax. You do not have to file taxes. In other words, it's not an obligation. You can elect, you can decide to file taxes, but you are not under obligation to file taxes, especially with the PRT. That's what I'm referring to, the personal withholding tax, because it's taken from you through your employer and remitted to LRA. But you can file your individual tax return if you elect to. But if all of your your earnings come from employment source, 90%, not all, I'm sorry, 90% of your earnings come from employment source, you do not have an obligation to file taxes. So as a result, in Liberia, perhaps I could say 90 or 90 something percent of individuals do not file taxes. But businesses are required, especially large and medium sized businesses are required to pay, to file taxes every year. And they are required to pay their presumptive tax every quarter or so.
Yes, I want to say thanks for coming through this one. It's 10 o'clock already. Thanks for education. You always come in, educate you the knowledge of the taxes and other things within the LRA. Thanks so much for having our invitation.
Thank you so much. Thank you for always having us on your platform. This is our work, and this is what we do, and we want to make sure that we have informed taxpayers in our country. That's why I left all of our information. Our website is available to them. Our phone number is available. Call us. Whatever you need, whatever, the services that you want, we are here to provide exceptional customer services to our taxpayer to ensure that they meet their tax obligation and remain compliant to the tax laws of Liberia. So thank you always for allowing us to share this platform to convey our messages to our valued taxpayer across the length and breadth of our country.
Isaac B. Stevens closing us up on the Tuesday edition of the Truth Breakfast Show. It's been wonderful serving breakfast. Thanks to all of our relay station, Banana FM, Jory FM for relaying. Let's do this on tomorrow, same time at 7:30 on behalf of the entire team. My name is O'Neill, saying have a blessed day. Bye-bye.